Born in Ballymena, like the last song said we did. Born in Ballymena to a family of 13 kids in our family. My mother doesn't share your enthusiasm. 13 kids. But we were brought up by our grandparents because my own parents, they sadly, they ran away from home when I was about 6. But there's 13 of us. And the grandparents, they never showed any favoritism. They hated every single one of us. Especially myself and my grandfather just didn't see eye to eye. One day I went down the stairs and he was sitting on his chair smoking his pipe, and I went up to him and I said, "Grandad, make a noise like a frog, would you?" He said, "Go and make a noise like a frog." He looked at me and said, "Why would I make a noise like a frog?" I said to him, "Well, Granny says that when you croak, we're all going to Disneyland." But I digress. 13 of us in a 2-bedroom government housing unit on Princess Street. The grandparents in one room and all 13 of us in the other. When it came time to go to bed, the race was on up the stairs, jump onto a mattress, grab a bit of a sheet or a blanket, just hang on for dear life. I never slept alone until I got married. Not married anymore. She said I did little things that annoyed her. I go wake up in the morning. She said to me one day, she says, "When you die, I'm going to dance in your grave." I said, "Good, I'm being buried at sea. Make sure your mother's there with you." She was a big one. Everywhere you went in the house, there she was. She went into this museum and she called the curator over. She says, "I suppose you call this monstrosity modern art?" I said, "No, missus, that's a mirror." As again, I digress. This could be the final nail of the coffin for me. I took her to Ireland to meet the Irish side of the family. I rented a car, drove up the Admiral Coast to the Giant's Causeway in Portrush. But I didn't realize that they had all these radar cameras all over the place. When I came back home a couple of weeks later, I get a letter in the mail from the Ulster Constabulary, and open up, and there's a picture of the car I had rented, and a fine that said £250. So I remembered I brought some money home with me. I went upstairs and I took a £100 note, another £100 note, a £50 note. I laid them out in the bed nicely, and I took a picture of them. And I sent it off to the Ulster Constabulary. Well, 2 weeks later, I get another letter in the mail. This time it's a picture of a big, huge constabulary. He was 6'12". It's a big picture of him with holding handcuffs in one hand, and a big German Shepherd in the other, was like jumping into the camera, foaming in the mouth. So this was early in the morning. I went upstairs and I turned the lights on and shook the wife till she woke up. And I took a picture of her. I sent it off to them. I've never heard anything back.
shining star. I was kissing the day of a dance, but still in spite of that. To my father I was willing, when my mother called me Pat. Oh, it is the biggest mix-up that you have ever seen. My father, he was orange, and my mother, she was green.
With mother every Sunday to mass I thoroughly strong. And after that the orange a lot of trying to save my soul. Was straight technically me, but I was smart because I paid a full underpaid heart, depending on where I was.
Oh, it is the biggest mix-up that you have ever seen. My father, he was orange, and my mother, she was green. And when they'd sing the rebel song, much to my mother's joy, my father would jump up and say, look here, my boy, that's quite enough of that lot. And he'd then toss me a coin, and he'd have me sing the orange flip or the heroes of the Boyne. Oh, it is the biggest mix-up that you have ever seen. Your father, he was orange, and my mother, she was green.
A day demonstrations came around to me, and my once kinfolk were all sitting down to tea, trying to smooth things over, but they all began a fight. And he be stricken until I passed everyone in sight.
Oh, it is the biggest mix-up that you have ever seen. My father, he was orange, and my mother, she was green. My parents never could agree about my type of school. My learning was all done at home, that's why I'm such a fool. They both passed on, God rest them, that left me caught between the awful color problem of the orange and the green. Oh, it is the biggest mix-up that you have ever seen. My father, he was orange, and my mother, she was green. Yes, it is the biggest mix-up that you have ever seen. My father, he was orange, and my mother, she was green. Now we come to the part that I'm sure you've all been waiting on.
We're gonna have a drink.
No, it's time for the sing-along. Oh, feel the excitement rippling through. Very, very easy. I wouldn't ask you anything. This one's in Gaelic, mind you, but it's not too hard. No, just joking. Here's the words. Led me on, she led me on, she took me by the hand and led me on. Isn't that easy? Yeah, I'll sing it for you once. No trouble. Led me on, she led me on, she took me by the hand and led me on. Try it. Led me on, she led me on, she took me by the hand and led me on. I'm not sure you want to do this at all. I'm not actually talking to you, I'm talking to the audience.
I'm talking for them.
Try it with me. Come on. Led me on, she led me on, she took me by the hand and led me on. Never mind, we'll do it ourselves. That wasn't too bad at all. This one is called, what's it called? Oh, Let Me On, yes. 1, 2, 3. Until the end. All animals are strictly dry, they sinless live, and then they quickly die. But the sinful, ginful, rum-soaked men survive for 80 years and 10. And some of them, a very few, can stay pickled till they're 102. Finland's wake.
Yeah.
300 years ago, and the men would sing on board to keep the rhythm of the ship, because keeping that rhythm was very, very important in those days.
They were a Catholic crew?
No, it meant going into the waves properly, and the wind was in the sails, and that was keeping the rhythm of the ship. That's what
They were a Catholic crew.
No, they weren't. Not at all. Anyway, first one is called Holloway Joe.
We decided to go to Ireland for a holiday together.
And we will never ever do it again.
No. But while we were there, we decided to go on a pub crawl.
Oh, us?
Yes. So here are a few of the locations that we went to for libations on our Dublin pub crawl. 1, 2, 3, 4. We opened
Mary-o, Haggerty's getting McGee. In Dublin town, upon the call, by hell of a time was on by all, down where the beer and whiskey flew.
Do not try this at home. No. We're getting too old for that song. Better slow it down here for a wee minute. Here's a lovely wee song from the new CD, and Neil here is going to sing it. It's called The Prodigal Son.
You would have been sent away for the rest of your natural days, after the burning shores and the prison colonies of Australia. We were going into Australia. We had a big tour set up starting in Sydney. I go into Sydney and I get in front of everybody in front of the customs officer. He looks at me and he says, "Do you have a criminal record?" I looked at him. Here. He had no sense of humor, that fella. So we didn't get it. But all those young, poor, innocent Irish convicts, they made it there.
You did?
And some horrible places.
Awful places.
Just like Port Jackson.
Oh, we hated that place.
Martin's Harbor.
Oh, remember Rough Conditions for the Men. Jeffrey, do you remember that?
How could I forget, George? Those conditions were appalling. Some of the worst food I've ever eaten in my entire life. You know what they need there, George?
What's that, Jeffrey?
They could use a Bailey's restaurant or a keg or even a Tim Hortons.
That's enough of the advertising for tonight. Thank you.
Sydney Cove.
Oh, another hit. No, not yet. Not yet.
Snake Island.
That's better. There were no snakes at the other place.
And the worst hellhole of them all,
Portage la Prairie.
No, we mean Van Diemen's Land.
And I'm talking about the one in Western Australia, by the way. I'm not talking about the one around here.
There's a Portage la Prairie in Western Australia. What he was talking about was Van Diemen's Land. Here's one of the old ones. Join into the Black Velvet Band.
In a little town called Belfast, apprentice to trade I was born, and many is the hours we have in it. Till one misfortune came on me, that caused me to stray from the land, far away from the friends and relations that followed the Black Velvet Band. Here's the chorus. Arise, they shone like the diamonds. Everything she was queen of the land, and her hair hung over her shoulders, tied up with a black velvet band. As I ran on strolling down Broadway, not meaning to stay very long, when I met with the frolicsome dancer as she came a tripping along, and a gull watch she pulled from her pocket, and she slipped it right into my hand, and the law came and put me in prison, I belonged to the Black Velvet Band. Her eyes, they shone like the diamonds, yet then she was the queen of the land, and her hair hung over her shoulders, tied up with a black velvet band. Take it, Ian.
Next morning before judge and jury, for trial I had to appear, and the judge, he says me, young fellow, the case against you is quite clear, and 7 long years is your sentence. You're going to Van Diemen's Land, far away from your friends and relations, betrayed by the Black Velvet Band.
By the chorus, her eyes, they shone like the diamonds. She was queen of the land. You would think she was queen of the land. Her hair hung over her shoulder. Her hair hung over her shoulder. Tied up with a black velvet band. So come on, ye jolly
together. You might have noticed we had a slight mix-up in that song. So poor Ian just wasn't fast enough to get in there. So we're going to let him do this next song all by himself. Why? I don't know. He's the only one that knows the words, that's why we're going to. This is from our Drunken Sailor album. Just what the kids need for tonight. Yes, lovely. It's one of the prettier songs from that album. So here's the actually very nice and lovely Ian. I mean, song from that album.
1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3. She said that she loved me, I would always be true, and I told her that I loved her too. And though we just met, there was magic that night, like a book, it was love at first sight. Well, she took me upstairs with a smile and a wink, but the lassie had filled my drink. For when I awoke, she was not next to me, for I was 200 miles out on the salt sea. 1, 2, 3, yeah.
Sang Heineken and served me like for riding a drunken fool. She made me fall for her delights. How could she be so cruel?
Just so much seeing that was I to be on solid ground. I swear to God that never more would I leave Belfast town. I sold my cold weather gear, so some naive young tar. I went in vodka gin and I stopped in the harbor bar.
Sang Heineken and served me right for riding a drunken fool. She made me fall for her
that started the whole thing. It was 19... Dedicate this tonight to Shirley. She's here somewhere. And these two wee kids here in the front row, and they stayed awake for the whole show. Some of these boys almost fell asleep. Good for you two. You stayed awake. And you don't have to go to school tomorrow either, your mother said. You can stay up all day. Goes something like this. 1, 2, 3. Well, a long time ago, when it was green, there was more kinds of animals than you've ever seen. They'd run around free when the earth was being born. The loveliest of all was the unicorn, and there were green alligators and long neck geese, some hunty-back animals and some chimpanzees, some cats and rats and elephants, but you was your born. The loveliest of all was the unicorn. Now God sees him sitting and it gave him pain, and he says, stand back, I'm going to make it rain. He says, hey brother Noah, I'll tell you what to do. Build me a floating zoo and take some of them green alligators along their geese, some hunting-back animals and some chimpanzees, some cats and rats and elephants, but sure as you're born, don't you forget my unicorn. Oh, the one was there to answer the call, and he finished making the arches as the rain started to fall. He marched in the animals 2 by 2, and he called out as they went through, hey Lord, I've got your green alligators along the geese, some hunting-back animals and some chimpanzees, some cats and rats and elephants, but Lord, I'm so forlorn, I just can't see no unicorn. Then Noah looked up through the driving rain. The unicorns were hiding, they were playing silly games. They were kicking on and splashing while the rain was pouring. Oh, them silly unicorns. It was green alligators along the geese, some hunty-back animals and some chimpanzees. Noah cried and closed the door because the rain is pouring. We just can't wait for no unicorn. Then the ark started moving and it drifted with the tide, and the unicorns looked up from the rocks and they cried, and the waters came down, so they floated them away. Oh, and sure that's why you've never seen a unicorn to this very day. But you'll see green alligators along their geese, some hunty-back animals and some chimpanzees, some cats and rats and elephants, but sure as you're born, you're never gonna see no unicorn. You can never on St. Patrick's Day, you know. thank you very, very much for coming out here on a cold night like this, a winter's night. You could have been sitting on your little couch with the fire going, watching The Walking Dead or something really good like that. Thank you for coming out. That's what they looked like this time last night. Best thing ever. A little song was written for us by an old friend of ours called Tom Paxton. And we were sitting having breakfast one morning in jail, and he said, I've written you a song about last night. And we looked at the words and we didn't remember a thing about this last night at all. So it's probably not even true. This one's going out to Marjorie and her family. This was one of her favorite songs, and she had very good taste. It says it could have been the whiskey, it might have been the gin, but wasn't that a party? To come to, and you've been there from day one. Plus, we love your pierogies. Especially the potatoes and onions together, just like an Irish meal. It's great. Anyway, I believe these walls ringing for the next time. Oh, I should introduce the band, shouldn't I? Of course I should. Nah, I'm tired of talking about it. Jeffrey Kelly from Scotland. Manchester. Jimmy over there is from London. On the keyboards is Davy Walker from Armagh in Northern Ireland. Lovely voice behind us is Neil Ryan from Dublin. On the drums from New Waterford, Cape Breton is Tom Roach. And on the bass is Ronnie O'Flynn, and he's from Monaghan in Ireland. We are the Irish Rovers and the Champions. This in Sunday school. I'll get you these kids even know this song. Everybody knows this song. We're hanging out with you.
We're going to split you down the middle. Everybody on this side, you're going to sing with me and Jeff. Your part is very, very simple. You are now the shaggy man of the crew. Your part is very, very simple. You go, way, hey, way, hey, way, hey. Very good. Everybody on this side. You're going to sing with George and Shane and Jimmy and Davey and Ian. You guys are the drunken crew. Your part's a little bit more involved. You're going to throw your arm. 2, 3, 4. Way, hey, up she rises. Way, hey, up she rises. Way, hey, up she rises. Early in the morning. We have traveled hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds. You know, be proud. After 4, no. These songs are sung by large, burly people with huge, hairy chests and greasy, oily beards, and long, stringy hair, and tattoos everywhere. Everywhere? Yes, and that was just the women. You know, be proud. After 4, no rehearsal. 1, 2, 3, 4. Way, hey, up she rises. Way, hey, up she rises. Way, hey, up she rises. Early in the morning. What will we do with the drunken sailor? What will we do with the drunken sailor? What will we do with the drunken sailor? Early in the morning. Way, hey, up she rises. Way, hey, up she rises. Way, hey, up she rises. Early in the morning.
bless. Stay home.